my friend became obsessed with me, I had to cut our connection.
Get her out of there.
In 2014, I was single and ready to mingle, and my friends suggested dating apps. I signed up for one, plenty of fish, and my goodness, the weirdos are there. One guy asked if he could just come and lick my toilet while another collected sock fluff. Oh my God. What on earth had I gotten myself into?
Ew.
Oh, by the way, this comes from user Loki of Asgard 84, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. I met a guy, Dave, who seemed like the only normal person on the app, and we started chatting a lot. We became friends, we liked the same things, and exchanged numbers. We chatted every day, nothing creepy, just good friends. I didn't get any weird vibes or red flags. Eventually, we decided to meet and went to the cinema local to me. It was clear for both of us that we would just be friends. There was no attraction on either part. I worked from home as a hairdresser, and we would chat in between clients. We would attend parties together when my children were with their father. We only made plans when my children weren't home and never during the week. I met his friends, and he met mine. I met his mom and dad, etc. If we went out for lunch, we either agreed to pay half, or I'd pay this time and he would pay the next. You're dating this guy. This is a date. You're describing dating this guy. Any day trips? They were taking day trips. He would cover his part and I'd cover mine. So, and that sounds like dating.
Yeah.
That sounds like dating. I just needed to make sure I wasn't off point.
No, it sounds a little datey.
Sounds like dating.
And a little dating.
On alternate weekends, when my children were with their dad, he would stay over, no funny business, and be gone before they got home. Months into our friendship, things took a turn. We had already decided that we would only be friends and that we would both be supportive of each other when we found a partner. We agreed we would always be friends. I had met someone and was eager to share the news with my friend. He was far from happy about it. His demeanor completely changed. He started not going to work, claiming to be sick, but would turn up at mine after the morning school run and stay most of the day until school pickup. It was awkward for my clients, and he would be shut in the front room so I could work. I didn't mind at first, but it quickly became stressful, and I started to feel suffocated. He also started staying longer, even when my children were home from school. They liked him, so I thought it wouldn't be a problem for them to meet my friend. However, he began staying late into the weekday evenings, and I felt it was impacting my time with my children, so I very nicely suggested a bit of space and keeping our hangouts to the weekends, and he was fine with that. I mean, everything that has been listed could definitely be platonic.
Yeah.
But also, if it's not like made extremely clear that it's all platonic, it could be very easy to confuse this with being like, am I developing?
Well, but the thing is that they did. They were like, friends. We're friends, right? We're going to be always friends.
Yeah, but it's like, we're going to be friends forever. It's like, but you've only known this person for a couple months. After chatting with my girlfriends about the situation, they suggested he might have a crush on me. I laughed it off. There was no way. We didn't think of each other like that. My girlfriends, A and K, are family and made sure we would spend at least one night a month having a catch-up at my place with movies and nibbles when the kids were in bed. No men were allowed. But he started turning up on these girls' nights, which raised eyebrows and red flags. They thought he was nice, but a bit odd. One particular weekend, I had planned to spend it with my friend Kay and had not made plans with Dave. He was fully aware of my plans and had made his own elsewhere. My children weren't home, so we bought copious amounts of wine and sat around my fire pit, letting our hair down. She was staying over, and it was a great night. Around midnight, we were still having a little drinky poo, and I got a text from Dave asking if he could come over. I suggested that he didn't, as I had my plans. The next morning, I came downstairs to see Kay, equally hungover, sitting on the sofa with a shocked look on her face. Turns out she got up early for water and went into the kitchen to find Dave sitting at my dining table on his phone. Oh, so just a casual B&E? He's just going to casually B&E into your dining room? Okay, so there was a spare key to my house in a key fob outside, and he did know the code but had never used it before. I wasn't thrilled, to say the least. He brushed it off. Bro, saying I wasn't thrilled, to say the least, to a guy just like being in your house in the morning is like way underreacting. Like, you should have immediately been like, get out of my house. What are you doing? Sorry. He brushed off, saying he knew we would be hungover and was going to fix us breakfast. At this point, I asked for space. I started to distance myself from him and not make myself readily available for catch-ups. After some time and space, we decided to meet up at his friend's engagement party. The gathering was fine, and there were a lot of people to mingle with, until the soon-to-be groom approached me, thanking me for giving Dave another chance. He said Dave had been really upset the last few weeks when we split up.
Oh, so yeah, everyone thought they were dating.
Including Dave. And it's like, girl, the way you described it, I thought you were dating. And you met him on a dating app.
But they said friends. They were like, we're friends.
That
right?
is also
we're
true.
buds.
However, this goes back into the last story with like the naivety. You meet a guy on a dating app, and then you're like,
oh, someone said that
we're just friends.
Said that was a different person, but like, yeah.
No, that was the same guy.
Okay.
She met this Dave guy on the dating app.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like when they hung out, it was like, oh, we'll just be friends. But it's like on the dating app.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's clearly he was being duplicitous or there wasn't enough communication, whatever it is. It's not like all on OP or anything.
Yeah.
But it's like a little naive, not seeing how maybe this guy could have totally had his signals crossed on you. I questioned what he was on about. And he said that he was made to believe by Dave that we were a couple and had a lover's tiff and split up. I explained that was never the case and that there was no romantic involvement at all. Dave looked very sheepish, like he had been caught. I decided it was time for me to make an exit. Dave knew I had met someone and was getting to know him. Rumors like this could lead to disaster. I didn't answer his calls or texts for the week after this incident. I had explained at the party how I felt about him telling lies to others about our friendship. He had a lot of explaining to do with the groom about why he lied after being confronted. Then I got a random text from Dave saying he was being rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery and asked if I would come. I couldn't as I was working and would be picking up the kids soon from school. I wished him the best and told him to let me know when he recovered. I heard nothing until the end of the week when he asked if I could pop in on the weekend. I had the kids home, but thought I should go to make sure he was okay. Then head out shopping with them. We took a train for 45 minutes. As we got off the train, he was right there. Confusion set in as he had just had major surgery and was supposedly in dire straits. Anyway, he wanted to drive us to his place rather than take a taxi. I got to his mom's, who is lovely, and had a cup of tea and a ketchup. A nurse arrived to do a dressing change, so the kids and I stayed in the kitchen while his mom was with him in the front room. Time ticked on and the nurse left. No one came out of the front room. I knocked to see if it was safe to come in, and the shock of what I saw has stayed with me to this day. He was being spoon-fed food by his mother, who was wiping his mouth like a helpless baby.
What?
But like, are his arms not working?
Yeah, what's wrong with him? Is he okay?
No, because he drove them. If he can't feed himself, that's one thing. But like, I don't know. Let's get back into it. It was cringeworthy, a 30-something-year-old man being spoon-fed for a simple boil removal from his butt cheek.
Oh.
So not only did he lied and said that it was emergency surgery, you might pass away.
Oh. Oh, Bob.
Then you're gonna get the phone call. Boils. You're gonna get the text message where it's like, "This is his mom. Like he just wanted us. He just wanted you to know that as his last breath, he said he loved you and like wanted to know if you loved him back." So it was not a major surgery or a life or situation. It was just a butt cheek boil. Woo-hoo. They both acted like this was normal. I made my excuses and left. You shouldn't have made any excuses. You should have been like, this is absurd. You lied to me. You broke into my house. You're creepy. Don't come near me or my kids ever again. Red flags were now in full view. And I had to act. The constant lies and weird behavior outweighed the good friendship I thought I had. Things were happening with the new guy, and I didn't want Dave causing any issue with that. So I told him that things were getting serious with the new guy, and I wanted to explore it. I still wanted him in my life as a friend, but I was excited to start a relationship. Girl, no, you don't. Why do you want this guy in your life?
Yes, get him out.
Stop.
Get him out. He's been weird.
Stop
He's
it.
A weird guy. He's not listening to your boundaries.
He threw the tantrum of tantrums. Like a child. Go figure, the guy getting spoon-fed by his mom's throwing temper tantrums. I was instantly blocked and removed from all social media. I received a text saying, "Have a good life." And that was that. Or so I thought.
No.
Oh.
No.
And you know what's never just that, because we're constantly adding more and more episodes, is listening to full episodes with stories like this. Go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, search OK Storytime, and you will always have an unlimited supply of stories, because we're constantly adding more every day. Every single day, we're adding more. So I challenge you to catch up. There is a little bit more story left. I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah, first, let's
Stop placating this man.
He's a little weirdo. You've told him multiple times, regardless of like however you've been acting, you told him multiple times that you only want to be friends. He's telling people that you're dating, which again, it'd be different if he was like telling people that, oh, she's leading me on because we're all doing all these dating things. No, he's telling people that you're literally dating, even though you have established that they're friends. Now he's getting spoon-fed by his mom. He's breaking your house. Cut it off.
I felt bad that I had lost a friend so easily, but he was constantly lying. I later found out he set up a Facebook page dedicated to mistreated men and mentioned that I was his ex, claiming I gave him PTSD and trauma. He later removed it after his friends posted to that page that it was all fabricated. Now I'm married to the new guy. Wow, and life is great. All I know of Dave is that he's an online gamer, has gained significant weight, and has 2 kids. I wish him all the best.
And then
What
you
is
have
sweetie
it.
pie? But
Stop
like,
wishing him
man,
the best,
stop
man.
wishing him the best. You don't need to do that. That's the end of that story.